May 10th, 1994. The Union buildings in Pretoria, South Africa, are bathed in sunlight, a fitting backdrop for a historic moment. Tens of thousands of people, black, white, Indian, and colored South Africans, stand shoulder to shoulder, their faces lit with hope and joy. On this day, Nelson Mandela, a 75-year-old former prisoner who spent 27 years behind bars, takes the oath of office as South Africa's first democratically elected president. It's a moment the world has waited decades to witness, the culmination of a long, brutal struggle against apartheid. In minutes, we'll relive Mandela's inaugural address, a speech of unity, healing, and a vision for a rainbow nation. This is A Rainbow Nation Rises, Nelson Mandela's 1994 inaugural address. Let's set the stage. It's 1994, and South Africa is at a crossroads. For nearly 50 years, the country has been governed by apartheid, a system of racial segregation that stripped black South Africans of their rights, forcing them into segregated townships, denying them education, and subjecting them to brutal violence. The African National Congress, or ANC, led the fight against this oppression, with Nelson Mandela as one of its most prominent leaders. In 1964, Mandela was sentenced to life in prison for his activism, becoming a global symbol of resistance. But in 1990, after international pressure and internal unrest, he was released. Over the next 4 years, he negotiated an end to apartheid, leading to South Africa's first democratic election in April 1994. The ANC wins in a landslide, and Mandela, once a prisoner, is now president. Mandela steps to the podium, a tall, dignified figure in a dark suit, his presence commanding yet warm. The crowd includes over 100,000 South Africans and dignitaries from more than 140 countries, presidents, prime ministers, and activists who have supported the anti-apartheid struggle. He begins by acknowledging their presence, noting the significance of their attendance on South African soil. He describes this day as one of extraordinary triumph, a moment where South Africans of all races have come together to celebrate the birth of a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the principle that all are created equal. His words echo the ideals of democracy, drawing a parallel to the aspirations of freedom fighters who dreamed of this day. He reflects on the long journey to this moment, speaking of the pain and sacrifice that have marked South Africa's history. He honors the countless South Africans who gave their lives for the cause of freedom, those who endured unimaginable suffering under apartheid's yoke. He mentions the men and women who were banned, tortured, imprisoned, and exiled, their names etched in the nation's memory. He gives a special nod to his comrades in the ANC, the organization that led the struggle, and to the millions of ordinary citizens whose resilience and courage made this day possible. He describes the election just weeks earlier, where South Africans of all races stood in long lines to vote for the first time, a powerful symbol of democracy in action. Mandela's tone is one of gratitude, but also humility. He acknowledges that this victory belongs to all South Africans, not just one group. He speaks of the deep wounds left by apartheid, poverty, inequality, and division. But he offers a vision of healing. He declares that out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long, a society must be born of which all humanity will be proud. He emphasizes unity, saying that the time for healing the wounds has come. The moment to bridge the chasms that divide the nation has arrived. He calls for a covenant, a sacred promise, to build a society where all South Africans, black and white, can walk tall without fear in their hearts, assured of their inalienable right to human dignity, a rainbow nation at peace with itself and the world. He addresses the new government's mission, outlining its priorities with clarity and resolve. He promises that his administration will work to liberate all South Africans from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, and discrimination, whether based on gender, race, or any other factor. He He vows that never again will South Africa experience the oppression of one group by another, a statement met with thunderous applause. He speaks of the need for peace, not just within South Africa, but across the region and the world, noting that the nation's success depends on its ability to contribute to global harmony. He calls for democracy to flourish, for justice to prevail, and for the fundamental human rights of every citizen to be protected by the full force of the law. Mandela's vision extends beyond politics to the spiritual. He describes the moment as a spiritual one, a time when South Africans can find a common humanity that transcends race and history. He speaks of a shared patriotism, a pride in being South African, that must bind the nation together. He invokes a poetic image, saying that each South African must feel like a flower that has bloomed after the rains, radiant with the colors of freedom. He urges the people to let freedom reign, to let the sun never set on this glorious achievement. His words are a prayer as much as a promise, a call for every citizen to be part of the nation's renewal. He closes with a simple, heartfelt blessing, invoking divine guidance for the nation's future. He wishes peace upon South Africa, ending with a repeated call, "Let freedom reign." The crowd erupts in cheers, their voices a chorus of joy and hope. On that day, Mandela doesn't just become president. He becomes a symbol of reconciliation, a father to a nation reborn. His speech, though brief, encapsulates the dreams of millions, offering a roadmap for a country emerging from the shadows of oppression into the light of freedom. On May 10th, 1994, Nelson Mandela's inaugural address marked the beginning of a new era for South Africa. His presidency, which lasted until 1999, was a time of immense challenge and progress. He established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to heal the wounds of apartheid, oversaw the creation of a new constitution, and worked to address the deep inequalities left by decades of segregation. His vision of a rainbow nation became a global symbol of unity and forgiveness. Though the road was never easy, poverty, HIV/AIDS, and lingering racial tensions tested the young democracy. Today, in 2025, Mandela's 1994 inaugural address remains a beacon of hope. South Africa still grapples with inequality, unemployment, and social division, but the ideals Mandela set forth, unity, justice, and dignity, continue to guide its path. His words remind us of the power of collective action, of the need to heal rather than hate, and of the enduring dream of a world where all can live free. Mandela passed away in 2013 at the age of 95, but his legacy endures, not just in South Africa, but in every corner of the globe where people fight for freedom. A rainbow nation rises and its light shines on. Thank you for joining us on this journey back to 1994. If Mandela's story of unity and freedom inspired you, hit that like button, share this video with a friend, and subscribe for more stories of hope, healing, and humanity. Until next time, let's keep working for a world where freedom reigns.